Okay, hello and welcome to our very first webinar, 5 Keys to Jumpstart Metabolism Naturally. My name is Justine Campbell and I'm a registered dietitian and holistic nutritional therapy practitioner and the owner of Aloe Wellness, a Southern California-based company specializing in holistic nutrition and non-toxic living. I work with many different types of clients, but one of my greatest passion lies in weight release because it is such a fascinating topic and one that is so much more than restricting calories and therefore nutrition. I have such a heart for this topic, but I will get into that and why shortly. You know what? This is not letting me go. So just a quick overview of what we'll be going over tonight. We will be talking about 5 keys to jumpstart your metabolism naturally, things to live by to keep your metabolism running smoothly and at its best. We'll also be talking about the Get at the Roots program and those 10 root issues that can hinder our weight release efforts. And the reason why I say weight release rather than weight loss is because we don't want to lose the weight and find it. We want to release it for good. So that's a term that I try to stick to as much as possible. It's so ingrained to say weight loss, but psychologically, it's better for us to say weight release because we don't want to find it again. That's the goal. And then lastly, we'll talk about how you can get started today. So first, I would like to ask, what are your top 3 health goals? I'd like to challenge you, if you haven't already at the start of this year, put those top 3 health goals on paper and let's see how we can help you make that happen, especially as we go through this webinar. There's some really great things that we'll talk about that may be in your health goals. When we put these goals to paper and we write down how we're going to achieve that, what roadblocks we might come in contact with, and how we're going to overcome those roadblocks, it kind of becomes this no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm going to do it and I'm going to make this happen. And so the great thing about what we'll be talking about is that we can do that with this program and with these keys to jumpstarting metabolism. So that's really exciting. So a little bit about my story first. I just want to share this with you. So my clients are always pretty surprised when I share this with them because then it's like they can relate a little bit more. I'm not perfect and I didn't come from, this perfect childhood. I actually came from a family with morbid obesity running rampant on both sides. And based on how doctors talk and media portrays obesity, in my entire life, I was made to believe that obesity was in my genes, and that was that. And I'll tell you, I have always struggled with my weight. And because of that, my self-confidence and my self-worth. And it wasn't until after I became a dietitian and began studying nutrition through a whole body lens or a holistic approach that I realized that all the dieting I had done more harm to my health and caused imbalances in quite a few areas of my body, including my digestion, hormones, blood sugar, the stress that was put on my body. So during this time, I began using my body kind of as a guinea pig and worked to address my health and my weight by focusing on eating nutrient-dense whole foods and using nutritional therapy to address the underlying health issues I was facing. And through this, I have really changed my perspective on health and my relationship with food, which has been huge, and have been more confident in my own skin because of that. Not to mention, I feel a whole heck of a lot better. I refuse to put those quote unquote genes on and accept a fate of poor health and obesity. I have chosen personally to take charge of my health and the health of my future children and make a change that is going to be lasting, and I hope through generations. And the Lord has blessed me with a passion for people and helping them make real food and healthy living part of their daily lives. And through this, my clients are experiencing some amazing and really inspiring outcomes. So I hope that tonight's topic can help you jumpstart your metabolism and just really inspire you. So let's begin. So the first key to jump-starting metabolism is to eat small, frequent meals. So eating breakfast is so incredibly important, and we hear this all the time, but it is literally breaking that overnight fast. And that is what really starts to get metabolism moving. So it's really important to avoid starvation mode. So I know from personal experience back in the day, if I missed a meal or missed two meals and I was starving, it was almost like, yeah, I'm going to lose weight. But really, your body goes into this starvation mode where it becomes a stress response. Our blood sugar drops, our adrenal glands have to fire. Those are our stress responders telling, the liver to dump glucose into the system. And so we're really feeding into our body's, imbalance there, and some of the ways that we more readily store fat. So that's the last thing that we want to do. So by eating those small, frequent meals, that keeps your metabolism moving throughout the day. Plus, you're able to get that nourishment all day long. Our bodies are doing some really amazing things for us. So we want to make sure that we are nourishing our bodies. And that's one of those things I've learned over the years, that it's not about restricting, it's not about calorie counting and all of that, but truly nourishing your body. So eating these small, frequent meals, basically eat within an hour of waking, and then within every 3 to 4 hours, depending on how stable your blood sugar is. So, you may start eating more frequently, and then as your body becomes a little bit more balanced, you're able to spread those meals out as your body's able to maintain its blood sugar more appropriately. Key number 2, drink plenty of clean water. This is kind of a no-brainer, but the funny thing is that I find that clients, time and time again, this is an area that they struggle with big time. And just today, I was talking to my husband. I was kind of proud of him for this, but he was asking a coworker about his water intake. I don't know, maybe because I was harping on him to drink more water. But and this coworker said, "Oh, well, I get plenty of water in. I have, my coffee in the morning, that's got water in it. And I have, big green tea in the afternoon, that has plenty of water in it, and some juice in the afternoon." And I'm like, oh no, did you tell him he's totally dehydrated? Because all these liquids that he's taking in are diuretics. So they're actually pulling water from the system. So he is actually in a negative fluid balance, and dehydration causes a lot of really yucky symptoms, and even chronic health issues just from that dehydration. So water is so important because it is a big player in transporting nutrients and hormones throughout our body. Water also helps us to eliminate toxins from the body. So we'll talk about that a little bit later in those 10 root issues. When we have that toxin buildup in our body, and we don't have the ability to adequately get rid of those, that can cause big problems for our health and for our body weight. We also need that good clean water and plenty of it to optimize our metabolism, and so many other things. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the importance of water and what it does in our body. So how can you figure out how much water you need? Now, this is an approximation. that can affect this. But a way to start figuring that out for yourself is take your body weight in pounds and divide it by 2. So if you weighed 150 pounds and divided that by 2, your your water recommendation would be just about 75 ounces. Now, if you drank coffee or another diuretic, or you were out sweating all day working or playing at the beach or exercising, you need to add water on top of that. Now, generally, I say not to exceed too far above 100 ounces because we don't want to dilute all those wonderful electrolytes in our system either. So stick to about 100, 120 max and go from there. And the best thing to do is to drink water throughout the day. And there's so many ways that my clients have, figured out how they're going to actually get their water in. So some people line up, 16-ounce water bottles or 5, whatever their need is, or they have a big, huge water bottle that they know they need to drink that entire thing throughout the day, or a whole host of other things. I've even had people put water in the bathroom because they literally didn't have time to drink water except for when they were like sitting down to go pee. So get the water in and find ways to do that. Make that a priority. It's very, very important. Key number 3, balance meals with protein, carbohydrates, and fat. So combining these macronutrients, so we call protein, carbs, and fat macronutrients, and then vitamins and minerals are micronutrients. So by combining protein, fat, and carbohydrates, we're getting in a combination of much needed nutrients, but we're also helping to keep our blood sugar stable. This is a really big part of the equation when we are talking about losing or releasing that weight and keeping that weight off. We know that blood sugar spikes in a diet high in processed carbohydrates and even what we call quote unquote healthy whole grains could lend to that extra weight that we do not want on. So we want to, in those frequent meals, combine protein, carbohydrates, and fat. So this also optimizes our nutrient intake, giving us all of that nourishment that we need throughout the day, especially when we've got a lot of activity going on in our lives, or there's a lot of stress. We want to make sure we're nourishing all the processes that are happening all throughout the day in our most amazing bodies that God has made for us. So this also takes us into fat burning mode when we're getting in good quality fat, good quality protein sources, and nutrient dense, I typically say low glycemic carbohydrates from vegetables and fruit primarily. That is really kicking us into fat burning mode because our body it loses its, well, no, I don't want to say that, is much better equipped to burn body fat rather than just being able to burn sugar as energy. So that's really a big goal that we have here when we are talking about releasing that weight for good. Key number 4. Oh, I love this. And this is just one of those things where I stump people all of the time. No one's really ready for this because we've been taught, the exact opposite of this almost our entire lives. I think since the 50s when, that fat heart hypothesis or diet heart hypothesis first came out, fats have really been demonized, which is so, so sad. And think about this. We have supposedly had, people on these low fat diets over the last now 60 plus years, but our heart disease is growing exponentially. And to me, that's a red flag. Something is not right there. And the wonderful thing is that we know now that fats are really good for us. And I'm talking about butter, my friends. Good quality butter can be part of your diet, part of a healthy diet. There's so many wonderful nutrients in it. So Key number 4, eat healthy fats at each one of your meals. Fats are important for so many areas and body systems. They are needed for healthy hormones and brain chemistry. So again, with metabolism, we want to keep, plenty of fats on board. And with having stable mood, it's important to have fat in the diet. Think about any times that you've been on a low-fat diet or even a fat-free diet. What did that feel like? I know for myself in the past, I just remember being hungry all the time, moody, just imbalanced. And it's no wonder why my body was crying out for good quality fats to be added into the diet. So adding in these fats with each of the meals is another way to help balance blood sugar and keep that stable. So when we combine that protein and fat with that carbohydrate source, we help to slow down that blood sugar reaction, which is really, really wonderful for helping us to release that weight, but also helping us to keep that weight off, which is one of our biggest goals. And medium chain fats, which we find in coconut oil, help us to burn body fat. So if you think about one of the first groups of people that started using coconut oil was actually the bodybuilders. And that's because we now know that coconut oil, though it is mostly saturated fat, is not the devil. Saturated fat can be really wonderful for our health. And coconut oil is not readily stored as, medium chain triglycerides are not readily stored as fat. They're used very easily as an energy source. They also don't need bile to be absorbed into our body from our small intestine. So those who have issues with their gallbladder or have had their gallbladder removed, then this is a type of fat that can be very easily tolerated for them. So truth bomb, fat does not make you fat. So it's a really important thing to remember. Now, when I am talking about recommending fats, I am not talking about getting down on deep fried chicken and all this fried food and vegetable oils and things like that. I'm talking about properly extracted oils from, olive oil, coconut oil, grass-fed butter and ghee, tallow, duck fat, sesame oil. There are so many wonderful, good quality fat sources from both animals and plants. So we want to get a variety into the diet from all of those sources. We do want to watch out for, at all costs, hydrogenated oils and partially hydrogenated oils and fat sources. Typically, that is going to be on a label, so you can find that very easily. If there's any kind of trans fat present, put it down, walk away. And we also want to avoid processed vegetable oils that we have been told for so long are good for our health and are heart protective. We know that is not the case. So things like vegetable oils, so soybean, cottonseed, what else? Why can't I think of the canola oil? So if you have those in your cupboards, I used to say, finish the oil and then, transition onto the clean stuff. But now I say it wasn't that expensive, because it's such a cheap, not even a food, it's such a cheap oil that just throw it away. Get it out of your house as quickly as possible and transition onto those beautiful, life-giving fats that I mentioned previously. And number 5, keep moving. This is a really, really important area, though I feel that nutrition plays a far bigger role in your weight release journey. By moving your body on a regular basis, that really, really can help speed up the process. So exercise, obviously, activity burns calories. It also increases your resting metabolic rate. So basically, you are burning more calories while you are at rest. And when we think about fat or adipose tissue versus muscle, our muscle is burning a lot more energy than that adipose tissue. So we want to get rid of more of that adipose tissue, and we want to build more of that muscle so that we're able to burn more calories while we are at rest. So that's a good thing. And there's weight training. There's a lot of different types of exercise, and we could go on and on and on about that. So weight training versus cardiovascular activity. So with weight training, we are using either our body weight, free weights, machines, resistance bands, and we are working to build muscle in those exercises versus cardiovascular activity, which weight training can be cardiovascular if you're doing things I guess both ways, but cardiovascular would be doing activities that gets your heart rate pumping for a period of time. And during the Get at the Roots program, we talk about a lot of different types of activity and also make recommendations with each of those root causes, how we can support our body with exercise. Okay, so now I'd like to move into talking a bit about the Get at the Roots program and how it all started. So Nancy Rose is an incredible woman of God and a fellow nutritional therapy practitioner. And she has just an amazing story of transformation and how holistic health has really impacted her life, and now in turn so many others with this program that she has created. So during this process, she kind of had a similar story where she was living this life and had all these symptoms and health issues, and it wasn't until she learned the approach to looking at health in your body as a whole, did she have this amazing outcome with her own body weight. So in the process, and you can see how fabulous she looks, she lost 50 pounds. And I mean, she literally was dealing with every single one of the root issues that we talk about. And so it's pretty incredible to hear her story and hear how much, this program affected her. So or the process, right? Then she created the program, developed the Get at the Roots system and program, and is sharing it with nutritional therapists. So I'm very grateful for this program because these underlying root issues have affected my life so much, and I can totally relate to almost every single one of them. And so it's been incredible to have this program available to my clients, and I'm very, very grateful for that. So the Get at the Roots program is a personalized system. Your protein requirements are based on your lean body mass. Your carbohydrates are based on your activity for the day and how active you are each day. And you are able to have unlimited healthy fats. And that's really what puts you, these combination of macronutrients is really what puts your body into that fat burning mode instead of that carbohydrate burning mode. And that's one of our goals with the program. So the system is designed to help speed up metabolism, optimize fat loss, and provide adequate nutrition to the body for hormones, brain chemistry, and obviously metabolism. Now, the goal is long-term weight release. I say this over and over and over again. So many people have gone through so many weight loss programs and diets and restricting and calorie counting and all of these crazy extremes to achieve a healthy body weight. And in the process, one, we could be hurting ourselves, and two, we either lose the weight and gain it back and then some, or we don't lose weight at all. So the goal of this program is long-term weight release. And how we do that is we work to determine and correct all of the root causes of weight gain and the inability to lose weight. So no more calorie counting, frozen diet meals, or fat restriction, which I am so grateful for in my life, because let me tell you, I mean, what is your relationship with food? It just becomes, excuse me, this horrible, this horrible thing. And without food, we wouldn't be here. So we want to have a good relationship with it. Now, it's important to determine and correct each of the 10 root issues affecting our weight in order to obtain a healthy body and that long-term weight loss. So here we have the 10 root issues that we address in the Get at the Roots program. So we're looking at digestive problems, food sensitivities, yeast overgrowth, unstable blood sugar. This is a big one for, I would say, almost every single one of my clients. This is, you know, a big issue. Dehydration and mineral imbalances, inflammation and fatty acid deficiency, stress and adrenal fatigue. That's a doozy as well. Who doesn't have stress in their life? Hormone imbalances, which can be so uncomfortable, toxin overload, and brain chemistry deficiency. So what we do is we spend time each week focusing on one of these issues, and we kind of essentially build on top of one another. So we go in order, and because of that, we really help to get the body in a nice balance. We help to get our body nourished because we're getting in the right types of foods. We're able to break them down and use those nutrients appropriately. And in turn, our body is able to let go of that excess weight and be healthy. I mean, that's the end result. Kind of funny, whenever I'm working with clients, you know, they can come to me with, you know, they want to lose weight, or they want to, you know, run a marathon and, you know, have a healthy diet doing it, and so on and so forth. And really at the core of it, my whole goal is to bring nourishment to the body, because it's just incredible what nutrient-dense whole foods can do. And of course, getting out the junk, what that can do for your body and your everyday experience on this earth. It's just incredible. So I have just launched the Get at the Roots video workshop series, which is an online program. So it allows those who are not in Southern California to partake in this awesome program. And it is a 12-week program. And this slide shows you what is sent to you prior to starting the program. There's a member workbook, which allows you to go through the program and really challenge your body to those underlying root issues. Are you experiencing symptoms of any of those issues? And if so, how can you begin to work through those and get your body healthy in those areas? There are nutrient cards that help you to in determining your nutrient recommendations or your nutrient needs. And then there's also recipe cards that come along with it. Now, with the video workshop series, I've created a lot more wonderful tools for you to have that I didn't always use in my in-person workshops. So with the 12-week program, the online program, this video workshop series, there are 12 engaging video workshops delivered to your inbox each week. And these workshops help you to follow along in your member workbook, fill in any blanks, challenge yourself with any symptoms in those areas, and begin to work out those areas of those problem areas. You also receive a printable food and fitness journal with inspirational quotes to keep you focused and inspired throughout the week. Those who write down what they eat in a food journal, also those that commit their goals to paper, are far more successful than those who just have that stuff floating around in their head. So this is a really wonderful tool. There are also printable handouts to drive the topic of the week home and also build your knowledge base. So typically people keep binders, and then they have all of these wonderful resources by the end of the program that are not just applicable to your experience of releasing the weight, but these are things that you can take into life and continue doing for a lifetime to optimize your health. And that's really awesome. One of the reasons why I really enjoy this program. You receive a pantry staples handout. So all the awesome things that I've got in my pantry and that you can fill your pantry with. And lastly, and I think everybody's most favorite part of the program, is the 12-week real food meal plan. It's gluten-free, chock full of nutrients, and this really helps you to rock out every single meal during the program and beyond. So you can use it not just during the 12 weeks, but continuing forward in your life. There's so many delicious recipes that I use on a weekly basis and have really, really enjoyed in my own life. So, are you ready to change the course of your health and really take the bull by the horns and be an advocate for your health? And what is your health worth to you? I'd like to challenge you with those questions. Now, the cost of the 12-week online program, that video workshop series, is $255. And I have a short promotion going on, and I rarely do this, but I am going to offer $20 off with the promo code GATRVWS20. So that's Get at the Roots Video Workshop Series 20. It's valid through the end of the weekend, so February 1st, 2015, one per person. And I'd like to also say that this program can be done one-on-one, on a one-on-one basis. So it doesn't have to be the video workshop series. We can also do a more, well, I guess, one-on-one approach to the program if you feel that you need that extra support, someone to really keep you focused and driven throughout the program. One thing that sets me apart is that I really like to work very closely with my clients and give them the ability to have that kind of concierge experience where if you're at the store and you don't know what to get and you don't know what this label means, then you're able to send me a picture, give me a call, send me an email, and I can help you out, very quickly. So I love being able to have that one-on-one mentoring available. Very powerful. So you can find more of my services at allowellness.com/shop. And I am so thankful that you have attended this webinar. And if you have any questions or concerns, we are here to help. So please feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email at info@allowellness.com. And I would love to set up a 15-minute complimentary consultation to talk more about what your goals are and how Aloe Wellness can help you achieve them. So thank you so very much, and I look forward to working with you.